Cinque Terre is the gem of the Italian Riviera. With breathtaking coastal landscapes, charming medieval towns, and a rich cultural heritage, there is so much to see in each of the 5 villages. So whether you're an adventure seeker, a nature lover, a foodie, or a history enthusiast, there's something here for everyone. In this travel guide, we're sharing everything you need to know about each town in Cinque Terre. We'll cover all the towns in detail, where to stay, how to find the best viewpoints, travel tips, public transportation hacks, and key details to make sure your trip to Cinque Terre is incredible. So sit back, hit that like button, and let's dive in.
Let's start with the largest town in Cinque Terre, Monterosso. If you're looking for a beach vacation, Monterosso is the town for you. Being the only town in Cinque Terre with a natural sandy beach, this town embodies the classic Italian beach town vibe. Here you'll find row after row of umbrellas and sunbeds to rent, along with changing areas to throw on your swimsuit. There are also free stretches of beach to lay out on, with the best free spots being the beach just outside the train station, or at the north end beneath the town's famous Gigante statue. This statue of Neptune was damaged in World War II, but its decaying elegance still gives this free beach a unique feel. So we're in Monterosso right now. This definitely seems like it's the beach town out of the 5 towns of Cinque Terre. We're seeing a lot of hotels here, a lot of beaches, and Monterosso is also home to the only sand beach out of Cinque Terre. So if you're a beach bum, definitely check out Monterosso. I think this is the town for you. And besides the beaches, the old town of Monterosso is still plenty charming. You can reach it either by taking the foot tunnel by the train station or walking along the cliffside walkway up to the Aurora Tower, which was built over 500 years ago to protect the city from pirates. And while hotter, the cliffside walk grants you some of the best views of the town and the water. The old town itself is charming, with a beautiful main street, quiet winding alleys, and more local shops and restaurants than any other town in Cinque Terre. Monterosso is home to bustling squares and colorful buildings, so it's a great town for taking a stroll.
We are in the town of Monterosso. This is a picturesque, beautiful, charming town in Cinque Terre. And if you're Pixar fans, this is actually what they used to base the movie Luca off of. I think in the movie it's called Ponterosso, so you can kind of see how it's similar to Monterosso, and it's both in words and in looks. I mean, this place is very similar, and it's absolutely beautiful. I think the creator of the movie Luca actually is from this town, so exciting to think that he drew inspiration from his childhood growing up right here. Being just a 2-minute train ride from Monterosso, the next town to visit is Vernazza, and oh my goodness is this town amazing. With its main street being wide and steep, this town's main path guides you down to the sea past gelato shops and quaint stores. Once you reach the bottom, you'll find one of the prettiest swimming spots in all of Cinque Terre. Nestled beneath the old town streets and the majestic cliffs, this little harbor is a great spot to take in the sun or take a dip in the water. We found it to be one of the calmer swimming spots, so keep this in mind if you're looking to just relax at the water. If you're looking to score some great views, you'll want to climb to the best overlook of the city. To do this, follow the signs for the Monterosso Trail, which will take you from the main road up winding stairs and narrow streets. Once you're above the town's roofline, you'll reach the trail checkpoint, where you'll need to show your Cinque Terre card to go further. We'll cover all the details on how to get a Cinque Terre card later in this video, so stay tuned. Without a card, you can still get some pretty good views right before the guard check. However, if you do have a card, it's just a 5-minute walk along the same path to reach the most magical Vernazza viewpoint.
So we're currently on the hiking trail from Vernazza to Monterosso, and this is probably the best view that you're gonna get of Vernazza. It's definitely a hike up, but it actually wasn't too bad. I think it took us about 20 minutes or so, and we're in the hot sun. You do need a Cinque Terre card to enter the main portion of the trail, but you do still get some pretty good views right before the ticket check. There's also a castle across the way, which you can probably see behind me. It costs €2 to get to this castle and to climb to the top of it, but we actually think the viewpoint is much better over here because you can actually see the picturesque houses of this town. But definitely make sure to wear the proper footwear here. These paths aren't exactly paved. There's a lot of stones poking out, so you definitely don't want to roll your ankle.
And before we jump into the next Cinque Terre town, we want to give a big thanks to the sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. Starting therapy can be hard. The right therapist might not be in your area, and some people find the face-to-face interaction of therapy to be uncomfortable. With BetterHelp, you can have your therapy sessions as a phone call, as a video chat, or even through messaging if you prefer that. Whatever's the most comfortable version of therapy for you. BetterHelp can match you to one of over 30,000 therapists in their network, which gives you access to a wider range of expertise that may be available in your area. To get started, you fill out a questionnaire that helps assess your specific needs, and then you'll get matched with your therapist, in most cases in 48 hours or less. You'll be able to schedule therapy sessions in a time that's convenient for you. If the therapist you're first matched with doesn't feel like the right fit, which can be common when starting therapy, you can easily switch to a new therapist at no additional cost without stressing about insurance, who's in your network, or anything like that. The right therapist can make a huge difference in your life, but if it's your first time, it can be hard to know where to start. Over 4 million people have used BetterHelp to start living a healthier, happier life. If you think you might benefit from therapy, consider consider BetterHelp. Click the link in the description or visit betterhelp.com/sharingtheroad. Clicking that link helps support this channel, and it also gets you 10% off your first month of BetterHelp. Thanks again to our sponsor BetterHelp. Now let's jump back to the video.
The next town in Cinque Terre is Corniglia. Being the only town not directly on the sea and actually perched atop a 100-meter cliff, this town requires a 15-minute hike up from the train station. To reach this enchanting village, you must conquer the Larderina, a 382-step staircase that winds up the hillside, which can be tiring in the hot Italian sun. For those not keen on walking, there's a small bus that you can catch just outside the train station to reach the town easier, but this bus often fills up quickly in peak season, so you may still end up walking. Once you make it to the old town, you'll notice Corniglia feels almost like a fortress, with narrow medieval streets flanked by thick walled shops. Being such a hike up, this is the least tourist-filled town, making it a great choice to ditch the crowds. But there is still plenty of bars and restaurants, so it's a great spot to grab a bite to eat with great views. Just past the main church square, you'll find the town's main overlook. This spot gives you amazing views of the ocean, cliffs, and neighboring seaside villages in the distance. If you want to swim, Corniglia probably isn't the best suited town. However, you can still take a dip if you don't mind walking back to sea level. You can see Corniglia's secluded swim spot from the right of the main overlook, way down below. You can reach it by following signs to Corniglia's marina from the main street. Being a bit further to reach, this can be one of the least crowded spots to swim in Cinque Terre.
The next town in Cinque Terre is Manarola. While Manarola is the second smallest town in Cinque Terre, it might be one of the most scenic of the villages. With just 2 mini markets in the entire town and having a single main street of shops, this quaint town is full of charm. Its tightly packed houses adorned with vibrant hues cling precariously to the cliffs, creating a dynamic backdrop for this small harbor. From these colorful houses to the seemingly mistakenly placed clock on its clock tower, this town is one of a kind. We found the best homemade pesto sauce we've ever had here, so be sure to subscribe to see this in our upcoming Cinque Terre food tour, as well as other iconic foods you need to try when visiting Cinque Terre. If you descend to the harbor, there's a nice paved hill to sunbathe on, and with its many black cliffs, this is a great spot to relax and watch some of the thrill-seeking cliff divers. We love swimming here as it's shielded from the waves, and the view of the town from the water is stunning. Even the walk to the ferry launch is pleasant, with cool stone alleyways carving along the coast. Manarola is also one of the best towns to catch a sunset, as the golden light paints the vibrant houses and boats in such a beautiful light. Of all the towns, I think Manarola is the best one to catch a sunset in. How do you beat this?
So when you come to Manarola, you're probably going to want to get the most picturesque view of this gorgeous, gorgeous town. And you have a couple of different options to get that view. As you can see behind me, there's a lower path, which a lot of tourists are on, and that's probably going to be the most high traffic spot to get this view. We personally don't exactly recommend it. The views are still great, but if you walk up this road, go down the stairs, and walk just along top the restaurant there, that pathway, there's going to be a lot less tourists there, and I think you get an even better view. So just a tip if you want to avoid some crowds in Manarola.
Well, you're in the town of Manarola right now. This is one of our favorite towns in Cinque Terre. We're obviously a little biased because this is where we're staying. I think I can even see where we're staying right behind me, which is pretty cool. One of the reasons I love this place is the swimming situation is very unique. It almost feels like you're swimming in a mermaid grotto as you navigate through the rocks and watch people jumping off the cliffs. And when you have the backdrop of that beautiful city behind you, it's probably one of the most picturesque places I've ever swum. If you want to get to one of the best viewpoints, there's a couple of them in the city. Our favorite one, and where I'm at right now, is located right above the main restaurant across from the city. There's a big white billboard up here. You can't miss it.
And another cool thing about this spot is this has been my Chrome background for the past couple of years, so I've been daydreaming about this spot for a while, and it's so awesome to actually be here. Just a minute from Manarola by train, you can reach Riomaggiore, another breathtaking seaside town. Following the long tunnel near the train station, you'll reach the city center. This is a rather vertical town, and with its shop-lined streets and steep stairs, there's a lot to see here. And while you can climb to the top of the town to see the Castello de Riomaggiore, the remains of an 800-year-old castle, the best part of the town and the most scenic spot is actually down low. After exiting the tunnel path from the train station, descend into the alley and follow the signs for the marina. When you pop outside again, simply climb the stairs to your left, and you'll find one of the best views in Cinque Terre. This is probably one of the liveliest swimming holes in the 5 villages, where you'll find kayakers, cliff jumpers, and swimmers enjoying the crystal clear water. If you're looking for a place to take a dip surrounded by the beautiful buildings and steep cliffs, this is the spot to do it. And if you're looking for a spot to sunbathe in this town, there's also a beach close to the marina. So if you keep walking with the cliffside to your left, you'll eventually make your way there.
We're in Riomaggiore, and this viewpoint's incredible. One of the best things about it is you don't have to climb very high up. You actually climb down to the marina, then just up a few steps, and you get this amazing view of the city and the marina below. Really lively area, lots of people swimming, jumping off the cliffs. If you're looking for an easy spot to view the beauty and excitement of Cinque Terre, you gotta check this place out. When it comes to traveling between Cinque Terre's 5 towns, you have 3 main options to get around. The first and most popular option is to take the train. These trains run every 20 minutes, with most towns being just 1 to 3 minutes apart. Stations can be crowded during peak season, but we never felt too overly packed on the trains. Still, keep a close eye on your belongings on trains and on the platforms to avoid some of Italy's notorious pickpockets. You can purchase train tickets from the self-service kiosks or ticket office for €5 one way, but as you can clearly see, this would really add up if you want to see all 5 towns. Instead, we recommend purchasing a Cinque Terre card. Cinque Terre card costs a little over €18 a day and allows for unlimited train rides the day it's valid. You can also purchase multiple day passes if you're planning a longer trip. You can purchase these Cinque Terre cards from every single train station in Cinque Terre or at La Spezia. With a Cinque Terre card in hand, you can also travel between the towns on the second most popular way, and that's on the hiking trails that connect these villages. While these towns are just minutes apart by train, it can take over 5 hours to hike the 11-kilometer trail connecting these villages. And given Cinque Terre's brutal summer heat waves, it's recommended to start early if you plan on hiking. You'll need to show your Cinque Terre card to access the Monterosso to Vernazza and Vernazza to Corniglia segments, and they'll also check to ensure you're wearing closed-toed shoes or boots at the guard check. So keep this in mind. They also sell a cheaper Cinque Terre trekking card if you plan to be hiking instead of taking the train. And for the third transportation option, let's cut to Corniglia at one of the most scenic viewpoints in Manarola.
One way to see all 5 of the towns is to take a ferry, which you can probably see behind me. People are getting off right now. We've heard it's a great way to see the cities from the water. And while seeing this beautiful landscape and picturesque ports from the water sounds lovely, there's a catch. The ferry service that connects most of Cinque Terre's towns is not included with your Cinque Terre card, and you'll need to buy ferry tickets separately from the port. The ticket booths are near sea level by the docking area in various towns. From there, you can either buy one-way tickets or a daily pass for unlimited hop-on, hop-offs. We felt this was a little pricey, but this can be a great way to see Porto Verde, a less visited island off the coast. A budget-friendly way to conquer the ferry could be to buy a one-way ferry to a given town and take the train back. If you have any other ferry tips, let fellow travelers know in the comments below.
If you're flying into Italy, you have a few different options to reach Cinque Terre. Both Pisa's airport and Genoa's airport are just an hour and a half away by train. Florence is also only a 3-hour train ride from Cinque Terre, which is the route we took. We made videos covering the top things to do in Florence, the best foods to try, and how to plan a trip to Florence, so consider checking those out if you're also interested in seeing one of Italy's most cultural cities. Once you're off the airplane, you'll most likely take a train to Cinque Terre. We recommend using the Trainline app for real-time tracking of your train. This way you can know your connection platforms and know of any possible delays before you even leave the station. We actually use this app to buy all our train tickets in Italy and found the prices were cheap and it's surprisingly simple to use.
While everyone travels differently, 2 to 4 days in Cinque Terre is often viewed as ample time to see everything and enjoy these amazing towns. We stayed for 3 nights and enjoyed having 1 day to run around and see most of the towns, and 1 full day to relax in Manarola where we were staying. We felt it's possible to see all 5 towns in 1 day if you're ambitious, which is what we did. But if you'd prefer a less intense trip, consider splitting the towns across 2 days.
Given every town in Cinque Terre is unique, the town you stay will greatly shape your experience. We stayed in Manarola and personally felt it was our favorite town. We stayed in this small yet comfortable Airbnb with an amazing view for under $200 a night in peak season and would highly recommend this place to future travelers. We'll link it down below.
Little kitchen here, the bedroom, and then the real star of the show is this view. Wowee.
We've had family stay in the nearby city of La Spezia, which is just 20 minutes away by train and has plenty of budget-friendly options to consider as well. While more expensive, we recommend staying in one of Cinque Terre's towns if you can. This is because tourists typically clear out after sunset and don't arrive until after 10 a.m., so this gives you a little bit of time to appreciate Cinque Terre without the crowds. If you prefer resorts, Manarosso will have the most options. Whatever city you choose, be aware that these are steep towns with many steps and it can be exhausting carrying luggage, so try to pack light or see if your accommodation can help with your baggage.
We stayed in Manarola for 3 nights and documented all of our expenses. In total, we spent just over $665 for the 2 of us. We ate mostly takeaway meals and avoided expensive sit-down restaurants, so you can use this as a reference if you're trying to budget for Cinque Terre in peak season.
Please be sure to give this video a like if you found it helpful, and be sure to subscribe to our channel to see all our upcoming adventures from Europe and all around the world. We have some amazing spots coming up, so stay tuned. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next one. Ciao. That's a wrap. Before you click away, consider supporting our Amazon store. Courtney designed these packing cubes from scratch to make packing for days of the week super easy. We have a small size, which is great for summer clothes, and a large size that can fit just about everything under the sun. Your support means the world to us and Zeppy. See you, Zeppy.